Tyler, do you two know each other? I asked Tyler in surprise. Yesterday, Tyler introduced me to Leo Carter. I thought he only knew about him through work, but it turns out they are friends, very close friends, at that. I'm Tyler's classmate. My name is Leo Carter. Leo Carter cheerfully introduced himself to me, bouncing adorably in front of me. Sister Daisy, I've heard so much about you. Ever since the opening ceremony, I've wanted to meet you, but this stingy Tyler refused to introduce me to you. The opening ceremony? Just hearing those 3 words brings back a nightmare. You knew I was Tyler's sister from the start. If you're the heir of Eminence Couture, why did you agree to model for me yesterday? Was he deliberately teasing me? It seems Tyler's friends all share his personality. I had no idea you were Tyler's sister until I saw your name at the competition venue. Initially, I planned to decline modeling for you because I knew whoever I modeled for would undoubtedly lose. But when I saw your design, I couldn't resist wearing it. I truly love the Lover of the Reeds collection. This brat. You made Sister Daisy lose the competition, I have to teach you a lesson today. Tyler angrily grabbed Leo Carter by the neck, seemingly ready to take action. Stop it. I immediately intervened. Actually, I should be thanking Leo Carter. Although losing the competition is a bit regretful, I don't blame him for modeling for me. On the contrary, I am sincerely grateful to him. He helped bring my design to life on the grand stage. Without Leo Carter's help, not only would I not have made it to the top 10, but my work might not have even had the chance to appear on the runway. I truly appreciated Leo Carter from the bottom of my heart. From the moment I met him, I believed he was an adorable angel sent by heaven to help me. Sister Daisy, you're so kind. No wonder you're the one I owe my one outfit grudge to. Leo Carter, moved, hugged me tightly, only to be pulled away by Tyler right after. One outfit grudge? What kind of game is that supposed to be? Yesterday, I fired that Wang Fu guy. Not only is he no longer an employee of Eminence Couture, but I also issued a ban against him in the industry. I'm afraid he won't be able to work in the fashion design field for the rest of his life, Leo Carter said in one breath, his tone filled with anger. What? Mr. Wang Fu got fired? And even banned? Why would Leo Carter do such a thing to him? Isn't this an abuse of power? He's one of the fashion designers I admire the most. Leo Carter. You're being unreasonable. No matter what terrible thing Mr. Wang Fu might have done, you shouldn't treat him like this. A company CEO who doesn't understand the emotions of fashion designers and acts this coldly is simply too heartless. For someone who loves fashion design, becoming a designer is not just a lifelong dream but also their reason for existence. Mr. Wang Fu worked so hard to achieve success in this field, and now, just because one person is dissatisfied, he's being pushed into the abyss. If it were me, I certainly wouldn't be able to survive such a blow. Sister Daisy, in your past life, you must have been an angel. Even after he treated you this way, you're still pleading on his behalf. Leo Carter said something I couldn't quite grasp, then once again emotionally hugged me. Is this kid doing this on purpose? Does one sentence really warrant such an emotional reaction? Tyler, growing increasingly angry, forcefully pulled Leo Carter away. Leo Carter, can you explain yourself more clearly? I don't understand anything. I've only met Mr. Wang Fu once, but from Leo Carter's words, it seems like he's implying there's some sort of grudge between me and Mr. Wang Fu. 10. Detective model. This person reacts even slower than you. She probably still doesn't know that Wang Fu and Lydia Brooks have collaborated to plagiarize her work. Tyler stood in front of me, explaining to Leo Carter. This person, and she, Tyler mentioned, are they referring to me? Wait a minute. Let me process this information for a second. If I apply logical reasoning, Tyler means that I react even slower than Leo Carter and that I still haven't realized Wang Fu and Lydia Brooks have teamed up to copy my work. What? The piece Harvest Joy by champion Lydia Brooks is plagiarized from my Dry Straw Lover. No wonder both works look so similar. I always thought it was just a coincidence. But how did they manage to do that? I asked. Daisy, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have handed your work to that scumbag Wangfu. I never imagined that he, a judge, would go and plagiarize a contestant's creation. Tyler apologized to me remorsefully. Because I know how much you admire him, I didn't want to hurt you further, so I didn't tell you about this yesterday. Tyler, don't say that. Your thoughtfulness is already enough to make me happy. Lydia Brooks is Wangfu's girlfriend. I didn't know she would participate in the competition, let alone do something so despicable. Tyler is just a fashion model, right? How does he know so much about the company's internal affairs, as if he's the FBI of Eminence Couture and all its brands? Tyler, you're something else, going to beat up that scumbag without inviting me along. Leo Carter's younger brother pouted in complaint, and Tyler immediately covered his mouth. What? So you went to beat up Wangfu yesterday, Tyler? I shouted in astonishment. Oh my God. It turns out that the reason he was so exhausted yesterday was because he got into a fight. Back in middle school, Tyler was excellent at fighting, and on top of that, he came home yesterday without a scratch. It seems Wangfu must have been seriously injured. What kind of situation is this? These two don't respect their elders, fine. They don't separate personal matters from work, fine. But one of them fires and blacklists him, while the other goes and fights him alone. So Daisy Bloom doesn't know about this yet? Leo Carter, the younger brother, innocently asked Tyler. I already told you, she hasn't even realized the plagiarism issue yet. Tyler, is your sister a single-celled organism or what? At last, I understood Wangfu's feelings. Even though I'm extremely dissatisfied with how these two handled things and their attitudes, they're undeniably people who can't be underestimated. Being humiliated by these two leaves no room for retaliation. Oh well, they did help me out, so let's just write off what happened yesterday. So many absurd things happened early in the morning, it's no surprise I ended up being late today. My classmate Sean, who's notoriously bad at showing up to school on time, usually makes it in before lunch. But even by the afternoon when class started, there was still no sign of him. Instead, someone returning from the office mentioned that Sean had submitted his resignation letter today. Chapter 4, Confusion in the Forbidden Kiss 01. Fleeing out of fear of guilt hearing this earth-shattering news, my mind felt as if a nuclear bomb had been detonated, a loud boom, shattering all my thoughts. Why would he request to drop out of school? Didn't the school already agree with Sean that as long as his semester results met the requirements, even a 0% attendance rate wouldn't be an issue? Mia Thompson said Sean must be avoiding me and that's why he doesn't dare come to school. Some classmates even heard from teachers that Sean dropped out due to tuition issues, claiming his tuition fees for this semester still hadn't been paid. I couldn't agree with their opinions, nor could I accept any of the reasons given. Sean couldn't possibly have dropped out just to avoid me. That day, I told him over the phone that no matter the reason, I would forgive him. If it was due to tuition, that possibility also seems unlikely. As long as he won the competition, the prize money would have been enough to cover this semester's fees. An enticing condition like that, yet Sean still gave it up, so it couldn't have been about tuition. In the end, what is Sean hiding from us? Even though his withdrawal from school doesn't affect anyone else in the class, at most, it means one less name during roll call, perhaps he doesn't realize how significant his presence is in my heart. Since our first year, waiting for him to come to school every day has become a mandatory routine for me. Even if we couldn't exchange a single word, just silently watching him was enough to make me feel happy. These seemingly peaceful days were, in truth, filled with unease. 3 days later. Today is Sunday. Early in the morning, Tyler went out to work, while I stayed home leisurely sketching design drafts. Like most people who love drawing and designing, once I pick up a pen, I don't want to put it down until the piece is finished. Putting it down feels like letting go of a romance, as if I might never recapture that initial feeling again. This afternoon, engrossed in my drawing, I forgot about lunch. It wasn't until I unexpectedly received a call from Mia Thompson that I realized it was already past 4 p.m. Get to the back door of King Bar immediately. I have something interesting to show you. Mia's voice on the phone was both urgent and commanding. What's going on? I'm busy. Couldn't she just explain over the phone? Couldn't it wait until tomorrow? I've tracked down Sean with the help of some seniors. We're about to teach him a lesson. If you want to see, come quickly. Clatter. The pen in my hand slipped to the floor. It felt as if my soul had left my body. Without a second thought, I dashed out of the house, racing toward King Bar as fast as I could. Mia Thompson, what on earth are you planning to do to Sean? Wasn't this matter already resolved? Even I, the one who was hurt the most, chose not to pursue it further. Why couldn't she let it go? When I arrived, the chaotic scene before me was unbearable. Mia Thompson, are you out of your mind? Why would you do this to him? I shouted at Mia, rushing to Sean's side to help him up. By the time I got there, Sean was gravely injured, lying motionless on the ground. Around him stood several men Mia called her seniors. They were undoubtedly the ones who had beaten him this badly. Sean Harper, if you kneel down and apologize to Daisy, I might let this go, Mia said, her gaze haughty and unyielding. Sean gripped my hand tightly as I helped him up. He seemed to be seeking my help but couldn't bring himself to say it, weighed down by guilt. For the first time in my life, I felt a desire stronger than anything else, the need to protect him. I once liked him, and even though he betrayed me, I still like him now. No matter what happens in the future, at this moment, as Sean clung to my hand instead of pushing me away, it was enough to prove that, in his heart, I was someone he could trust. 02, Broken Heart, Mia Thompson, from this moment onward, I want to sever ties with you. I declared with unwavering determination. No matter the circumstances, striking someone first is wrong, and the person I cannot forgive is Mia Thompson. Daisy Bloom, what's wrong with you? Before jumping to conclusions, could you at least get your facts straight? Mia Thompson was even more agitated than I was, her presence immediately overpowering mine. She pointed to a senior standing behind me and said, this very senior, who works part-time with you, overheard someone offering him 5,000 yuan to bribe him into not participating in your competition. This person destroyed your dreams for 5,000 yuan, and yet you still want to side with him. Mia Thompson, like a loudspeaker turned on full blast, poured out her indignation in a torrent. Initially, I was supporting Sean, but after hearing Mia Thompson's words, I lost my footing and nearly fell, only to be steadied by Sean. It wasn't that I didn't believe Mia Thompson's words, but I couldn't accept the truth that Sean's reason might be money. Sean! Is that true? I grasped Sean's hand tightly, desperately hoping he would deny it. Please, tell me it's not true, that it's just a misunderstanding, or softly say to me, please let me explain. No matter what the reason, no matter how implausible, I wouldn't hesitate to believe him. But reality, as it has been for millions of years, is inherently cruel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sean whispered those words repeatedly. Hearing them, my heart completely shattered. At that moment, I finally understood how fruits must feel when they're crushed in a blender every day. As if being slashed by thousands of blades, with blood slowly drained out drop by drop. Mia Thompson, could you leave first? I pleaded with my eyes and voice. Mia Thompson shot Sean a sharp glance, then left with the other seniors. When Mia Thompson and the others disappeared from sight, I let go of Sean's hand and collapsed to the ground, my body paralyzed. The words I was about to say to Sean next had to be said without Mia Thompson around. If she overheard, she would undoubtedly go mad. At that point, the one demanding to cut ties might very well be Mia Thompson. Did you drop out because of me? I won't blame you, and you don't need to feel guilty. Sean, can you go back to school? It wasn't because of you. You're not that important to me. Then why? Does that question even matter? Sean didn't answer me directly but instead fiercely countered, why don't you ask who forced me to do it? Don't you want to know it all? What difference would it make? What's done is done, knowing won't change the outcome. No matter who it was, wouldn't the result still be the same? Sean immediately fell silent. I don't want to know who forced Sean to do that, either way, knowing won't change the outcome. Right now, I just hope Sean can return to school. There's less than a year left until graduation, and dropping out now would be such a waste. The only thing I'm worried about is, with just a high school diploma, how long can he survive in society? Will he have to keep working in bars and fast food restaurants forever? Seeing him not living well would leave me uneasy. If it's because of money, I can think of a way to help you. Even though my family doesn't have much money either, adding one more person to go to school isn't a big deal. Besides, I can also be like others and take up a part-time job. You don't need to help me after the way I've treated you. Because I like you. Before Sean could finish his sentence, I mustered all the courage I had and shouted, since our first year, I've always secretly watched over you. I like you, I want to help you, I need you. 03, the one behind the scenes, I'm sorry, I have my own path to follow, my own burdens to bear. Sean crouched behind me, gently patting my back. I can't return your feelings, nor can I bring you happiness. I don't need you to bring me happiness, I just want you to stay by my side. But those words, I couldn't say them. Because I knew that saying them wouldn't just be meaningless, it would trouble Sean even more. As I felt a pain so sharp it tore through my heart, drowning in loneliness and helplessness, Sean stood up. His faint silhouette gradually disappeared amidst my tears. Yet, less than half a minute later, he reappeared before me. Sean gently took my hand, preparing to place something in my palm. For a fleeting moment, warmth surged through me, I thought he might hand me a handkerchief. But in the very next instant, I was utterly disappointed. What he placed in my hand was a stack of money, cold, firm, yet slightly soft. Please return this 5,000 yuan to your younger brother. Sean stared at the thick wad of cash in my hand, speaking with a trace of reluctance. My younger brother? A bolt of lightning seemed to strike through me. I couldn't believe my ears. Sean must have made some mistake, why would he give such a large amount of money to Tyler? Actually, I took his money and promised to keep this secret, but Daisy, you've treated me so well that now I truly regret it. I don't understand why your brother asked me to do this, I only know that you have the right to know. If I don't tell you, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. What? Ha ha. How could that be? I let out a bitter laugh. The events of today were utterly ridiculous, like some kind of joke. You're saying my brother, Tyler Bloom, gave you 5,000 yuan to stop you from entering the fashion design competition? Do you think I joke about 5,000 yuan? I need that money more than anyone. Sean stood up regretfully, as though he mourned the loss of the money more than he cared about me. I have to get back to work at the shop now. Take care on your way home. Even the sound of his footsteps was barely audible as Sean disappeared without a trace. Tyler Bloom? How could it be Tyler Bloom? Even without thinking too deeply, it made no sense. Doing something like this wouldn't benefit him at all. Sure, he's always mischievous, loves teasing me, and often plays pranks, but he couldn't have done something like this. Tyler knows me better than anyone, even better than my closest friends or our parents. Ever since he was old enough to understand, he knew my dream was to become a designer. From that moment on, he declared he wanted to be a model. I'm just one step away from achieving my dream, and yet he secretly pushed me into an abyss. How could I possibly make sense of this? Before Tyler came home, I sat in the living room waiting for him. I needed an explanation, I needed answers. Just as I forgave Sean, if Tyler had his reasons, I would forgive him too. After all, if my younger brother went astray, I, as his older sister, bore some responsibility. Creak, finally, after waiting for hours, the door I had been staring at since evening opened a little past 10 p.m. Tyler dragged his weary body into the house. Without a word, I raised 50 banknotes, each worth 100 yuan, and let them rain down on Tyler like a storm. 04, thinking you are always right, Tyler Bloom, you're really rich. Instead of using all that money to donate, you use it to trample on someone's self-esteem and destroy their dreams. This was the first time in my life that I spoke to someone in such a tone, and that someone happened to be my closest younger brother. Has Mom raised you for 15 years in vain? Just because you've earned some money, does that mean you can disregard other people's feelings? Tyler didn't even bother to look at me, tossing his bag onto the sofa before heading straight into his room. Tyler Bloom. I'm talking to you, are you even listening? Even the Buddha would lose patience, his attitude has only gotten worse as he's grown older. So, what do you want me to do? Apologize to him? Or pay him double the amount? What? Someone who does anything for money, telling you the truth, wasn't it also for money? Sean isn't that kind of person. I won't allow you to talk about him like that. He went silent again. Does he think silence is golden? I'm not saying this to blame you. I just need a reasonable explanation, whatever it is, I'll listen and accept it. I don't have a reason, nor do I need to explain. I do what I want, I don't need to report to anyone. Tyler Bloom, you're truly beyond saving. If I keep talking to you, I'm sure I'll explode from anger. Fine. If you won't talk, then don't speak to me anymore. Avoidance became my last resort. Until you give me a reasonable explanation, I won't come back, and no one needs to look for me. Humph. I didn't pack anything, I was determined to leave the house. I wanted to run away, don't think you're the only one who knows how to do that. Luckily, Mia Thompson and I hadn't completely fallen out today, otherwise, I'd probably be sleeping on the streets. Before Tyler explains himself to me, I'll be temporarily staying at Mia Thompson's house. When I told Mia about this, she couldn't believe Tyler was responsible and even suggested Sean might have framed him. Come on, even if it were a setup, you'd at least pick a reasonable target. Besides, Sean wouldn't lie to me, and Tyler didn't deny it wasn't him. The moment he saw the money without batting an eye, I became even more convinced he was the one who did it. The only thing I still can't figure out is, why would Tyler do such a thing? 1 week later. I've been away from home for a week, yet my phone hasn't rung once. It seems Tyler Bloom feels absolutely no remorse, and it's driving me crazy. Even Sean realized his mistake and apologized to me. But the main culprit, the one who made the most serious mistake, hasn't offered a single word of apology. Last time, Tyler Bloom even disrespected me by insulting Sean. And yet, didn't I personally call him back home a week later as if nothing had happened? Staying at Mia Thompson's place for a week, she's already started complaining about me. She even called me a freeloader and demanded I pay for food and rent. Has anyone ever heard of someone running away from home only to end up having to ask for rent money? At school, I see Tyler frequently, but it's as if he doesn't even notice me. Tyler is the most prominent figure at our Endeavor Academy, pretending not to see him is practically impossible. When he arrives at school, there's always a group of girls following him. When he's in sports, you can always hear loud cheers. Even on the school bulletin board, his name is consistently at the top of the rankings. He's constantly in my line of sight, yet I feel like I've disappeared from his world. It's not fair. It's truly so unfair. 05, Madame Curie. One day, I was forced by Mia Thompson to attend a social gathering. She said that to forget an unworthy relationship, one should look for a new one. Was she talking about me and Sean? Although I once liked Sean, it wasn't significant enough to be called an unforgettable love. After all, we never even started anything. Yes, I admit I was sad at first. Before telling Sean the 3 words, "I like you," I had already prepared myself for the worst-case scenario, being rejected. But I didn't regret it, nor did I feel sorrowful. Just letting him know my feelings, knowing that there was once a girl who liked him, was enough for me. The venue for our gathering was a karaoke bar called Happy Bar, a place I'd never been to before. Honestly, I rarely visit places like this because I'm more of a reclusive, Madame Curie. Besides Mia Thompson and me, there were 3 other girls from our school, making a total of 5. On the other side, there were also 5 guys, all of them university students. Initially, we sat in 5 groups, each group consisting of 1 pair. But not long after, those who clicked with each other naturally split off to sit in the corners of the room. Mia Thompson always blended in easily with anyone, unlike me, reserved and hard to connect with. Even though I was sitting in the middle of the room, I felt like I was being left out. I held the microphone in my hand, singing love songs without any real emotion. There was a man who didn't stand out much, with messy hair and a large build. He also held a microphone and sang along with me. But his voice was so loud and booming that as soon as he started singing, everyone else covered their ears and stopped talking. Ha ha. It seems like no one can appreciate the grandeur of my voice, so I'd better do something else, the burly man awkwardly said, putting down the microphone and downing a glass of beer. Grandeur of your voice? I thought to myself. It's more like a deadly weapon. This burly man was definitely more than just a year or 2 older than us, perhaps a senior, a student retaking a year, or even a graduate student. Don't you get bored singing endlessly? Aren't you thirsty? What's your name? The burly man asked me with a peculiar expression. Going to the KTV is naturally for singing, unlike them sitting around chatting, which is truly boring. The table was full of alcohol, but since I couldn't drink, I had to stick to water the whole time. I focused intently on the TV screen, not bothering to pay attention to the rude man nearby. Even though I didn't have a boyfriend and had just been rejected by the person I liked, I had absolutely no interest in him. At that moment, I had no idea where Mia Thompson had gone. The guy with glasses, who had been happily chatting with her earlier, now noticed the rude man teasing me and deliberately joined in. You must be Daisy, the one Mia Thompson mentioned, right? She said you just had a breakup. Let Big Brother here comfort you a bit, okay? The guy with glasses not only spoke rudely but also got handsy, even worse than the rude man. How could Mia Thompson even entertain someone like him? No. Mia Thompson must not have been able to stand his behavior, which is why she made an excuse to leave. That annoying girl, if she doesn't want something anymore, she should just toss it away instead of leaving it to harm others. Come on, have a drink. Alcohol is the perfect cure for heartbreak. The guy with glasses held 2 glasses of alcohol, one for himself and one for me. Sorry, I don't drink. In any situation, refusing someone's offer of alcohol is considered impolite, but I'm allergic to alcohol and one of those girls who can't touch a drop. This is also why I always decline Mia Thompson's party invitations. Don't be such a buzzkill. One drink won't kill you. How can a college student who doesn't know how to drink even think about getting into grad school? Since when did getting into grad school require a drinking test? This idiot must think I'm just like him. 06. Do not drink a single drop. The old rule, if you don't drink, you'll face a heavy penalty. The guy with glasses said, feigning an intimidating demeanor. Heavy penalty. Heavy penalty. Heavy penalty. The rude man and the others who had nothing to do with it chimed in. Fine. 1 sip won't kill me. I'll deal with that girl Mia Thompson tomorrow. I grabbed the glass of liquor and took a small sip, but the strange, bitter taste immediately surged through every nerve in my taste buds. How could anyone be addicted to something this awful? Just one sip was unbearable, yet the guy with glasses wasn't about to let me off the hook. He grabbed the glass with one hand, pressed my head with the other, and forced the remaining liquor down my throat. Cough. 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 Are these idiots trying to kill me? This is unbearable, the liquor's even coming out of my nose. At that moment, Mia Thompson staggered in through the door, looking completely drunk, her movements unsteady. Just as she was about to collapse, someone behind her swiftly caught her. Am I seeing things? Or have I already gotten drunk? The person standing behind Mia Thompson was none other than Tyler. In that brief moment, Tyler noticed I was being surrounded. He quickly pushed Mia Thompson aside and dashed toward me. Poor Mia Thompson, being shoved so hard by Tyler, probably hurts more than falling on her own. Drinking alcohol? Who allowed you to drink alcohol, huh? Tyler yanked me off the chair, gripping me tightly as he asked with a fierce expression. Just a little bit, it should be fine. Hee hee. I chuckled foolishly, refusing to appear weak in front of my younger brother. In a flash, Tyler rolled up my sleeve, and oh my God, my skin was covered in red blotches. Wasn't this supposed to be low-quality alcohol? Why was it reacting so quickly? Ah. Did you really force Xiao Duo to drink? I told you she can't have alcohol. Mia Thompson, seemingly sobered up after the earlier commotion, trembled as she questioned the man with glasses. Before the man with glasses could explain, Tyler threw a punch, sending the man's glasses flying. Ah, a collective gasp erupted from those around us. I quickly tried to stop Tyler's impulsive actions. While the men here might not know Tyler, the girls were all students from my school and likely knew he was my younger brother. Starting a fight over a drink was truly over the top. Mia Thompson, I'm sorry, but I need to get Tyler out of here. I struggled to pull Tyler out of the room, but he seemed far from calming down, still wanting to go back and hit the guy with glasses again. At that moment, he came face to face with a familiar girl. It seemed they had come here together. Tyler, you've been outside for too long. Everyone is waiting for you, the girl in front of us said. She had a stunning figure and a beautiful face, clearly not a student from my school. Like Tyler, she had the flawless appearance of a model. Sophia, please let everyone know I have to leave now, Tyler instructed the gorgeous girl before pulling me into the hallway. I immediately shook his hand off. Tyler, just keep playing, I can go home by myself. The girl named Sophia still looked at Tyler with eyes full of anticipation. You want me to go back and hit someone, don't you? Tyler said bluntly, if you don't obediently follow me, be careful, I'll hit you too. Tyler's menacing gaze was terrifying, it felt like he really would hit me. Feeling uneasy, I nodded goodbye to the girl named Sophia and immediately followed Tyler out of Happy Bar. 07, stay silent. After walking more than halfway, I realized I was heading in the wrong direction. Why was I following Tyler back to his house? Wasn't I currently staying at Mia Thompson's place after leaving home? Before Tyler could give me a reasonable explanation, I had already made up my mind that I wouldn't go back home. Thinking about this, I stopped in my tracks. Perhaps Tyler noticed the absence of my footsteps and turned around to look at me. Tyler, are you really not going to explain that to me? No matter how big the misunderstanding is, you can always talk to me. Aren't we siblings? As long as you say something, I can forgive you. Just one word from you, and I'll go home immediately. Honestly, I really want to go home. Mia Thompson is driving me to the brink of insanity. Due to my alcohol allergy, my skin started itching gradually. Along the way, I tried to scratch it, but the more I scratched, the worse the rash became. Now it had spread to my neck. Stop scratching. Tyler stepped in front of me, grabbing my hand. You'll never understand my pain because you're not allergic to anything. If Tyler could just understand a fraction of my suffering, he wouldn't treat me like this. This wasn't the first time I'd had an allergic reaction to alcohol, nor was it the first time I'd been angry with him. But this was the first time I was kissed. Oh my God. I was absolutely sober, there's no way one drink could make me drunk. But why did everything around me feel like a dream? Tyler kissed me. It wasn't just a fleeting kiss, nor was it on my forehead or cheek, it was on my lips. He pressed his soft lips against mine and didn't pull away for a long time. I couldn't muster the strength to push him away, my mind went blank, my body felt powerless, and the itching sensation on my skin seemed to vanish entirely. I understand now. Tyler did that to stop me from scratching myself to the point of hurting my skin, so he suddenly kissed me. Indeed, only this method could make me focus all my attention on one spot, leaving the rest of my body numb to any sensation. Although this method is effective, it's way too much. We're biological siblings, born from the same parents. I don't know how much time had passed until Tyler let me go. I lowered my head, too embarrassed to even glance at him. When you feel miserable, I'm not doing any better, Tyler whispered softly in my ear, and those words made my heart race. Thump thump, thump thump, thump thump. What should I do? My heart is beating so fast, like a Ferrari speeding on a racetrack. Facing my confusion, Tyler remained silent as usual, continuing to walk ahead. I need to calm down. What's the big deal about a kiss? Girls my age don't necessarily treasure their first kiss. Mia Thompson, back in middle school, already bragged to me about kissing her boyfriend. By high school, she kept switching boyfriends, kissing one after another. That's right. Now's not the time to dwell on the kiss. Tyler always treats me hot and cold, leaving me feeling so uneasy. Does he hate me or like me? Why, as siblings, can't I figure out what Tyler is thinking? Confused. So confused. It's truly maddening. When we got home, Tyler didn't say another word about what happened. He poured me a glass of warm water and handed me some anti-allergy medicine. After I finished showering, he even made me a cup of American ginseng tea. Every time he treats me so kindly, I can't help but feel uneasy, as if Tyler is definitely hiding something from me. 08, admirable person. The next day. The following day, Mia Thompson unexpectedly said that she had absolutely no memory of what happened the previous day. She mentioned that the only thing she remembered was being forced to drink a lot of alcohol by the guy with glasses. Afterward, she went to the restroom and threw up for quite some time. When she stepped out, she ran into Tyler. But beyond that, she had no recollection of what happened. This morning, she only found out from her friends that they had taken her home last night. Mia Thompson, I'm truly sorry. I shouldn't have left you in such a drunken state. Luckily, you're okay. But next time, if there's any meeting or gathering, make sure to thoroughly research the other party beforehand to ensure safety. During the last class before school ended, I received a message from the head of the design club. He mentioned that there would be a very important meeting after class and hoped all members could attend. Thinking back, this semester has been so hectic that I almost forgot about club activities. As a third-year student, we can participate in club activities freely, unlike first- and second-year students who have a fixed participation rate to maintain. It's been a long time since I last attended the design club, and who would have thought I'd hear some good news this time. The club leader shared that a very generous first-year student had joined our design club. He also mentioned that the student's family runs a garment factory and has invited us to visit the factory this weekend to learn and explore. All travel and accommodation costs will be covered by him. Our design club has always had very few members. Currently, we only have 11. Just by its name, you can tell it's a pretty general club. Our school doesn't have many students, unlike famous universities with specialized clubs for painting, anime, arts, crafts, etc. So, if anyone wants to join an art-related club, the design club is their only option. Visiting the garment factory was truly a wonderful opportunity. If you want to become a fashion designer, you obviously need to understand the entire clothing production process. I really want to thank the new student who invited us, but unfortunately, the team leader said he wouldn't be attending today's meeting. However, we'll definitely meet him this Saturday." Carrying the joy back home, it wasn't long before Tyler returned as well. But today marked the first time in history that Tyler brought a girl home. Seeing them step through the doorway, I was completely stunned. The girl walking behind Tyler was none other than the one from last night at the KTV. If I remember correctly, her name is Sophia. What surprised me wasn't just the fact that Tyler brought a girl home, but also that Sophia was wearing Tyler's uniform jacket. Even though I'm not a stickler for cleanliness, Tyler has always hated anyone touching his stuff. And yet, he lent her his jacket. This truly shocked me. We just finished filming recently, and her clothes got torn on some wires. "Could you help her mend them?" Tyler said to me, sounding exhausted. Could it be that work has been too tiring? Tyler not only looked drained but also seemed rather unhappy. "Since I don't know anything about sewing, I must be troubling you," Sophia said politely to me. She called me sister, so she must be around Tyler's age. I led Sophia into my room, and after she took off Tyler's jacket, I noticed she was wearing the G University uniform. The uniform I had always dreamed of wearing, yet here it was, worn by a girl with such a beautiful figure. How unfair. When Sophia took off her uniform, her curvaceous figure stunned me once again. I had thought she was just tall, but I hadn't expected her body to be so well developed. Isn't she just a freshman in college? Why did I stop growing taller and gaining weight ever since I was in first grade? 09, tears keep falling. In the room, there was a sewing machine, so Sophia's uniform took less than a minute to fix. When she finished dressing, just as I was about to step out of the room, Sophia suddenly stood behind me and greeted me seriously. "Miss Daisy, I didn't get the chance to introduce myself properly last night. I'm Tyler's girlfriend, 18 years old, and my name is Sophia Lane." Her introduction wasn't abrupt at all, but when I heard the words, girlfriend, an indescribable bitterness welled up in my heart. Why was that? Tyler finally got a girlfriend, I should be happy for him, shouldn't I? Moreover, Sophia is exceptional in every way, she's the perfect match. But why did my nose sting, my breathing become labored, and my heart ache so intensely? Tyler bringing his girlfriend home for the first time must mean he values you a lot. That boy sometimes isn't great at expressing his feelings and tends to overthink, but he has a kind heart. You must cherish him. I mustered all my strength, trying to make my smile appear a bit more natural. I'm just his sister, there's no need for me to teach you how to be his girlfriend. Ha! You're right. Tyler is still waiting for me, let's head out. When we reached the living room, I came up with a random excuse and slipped out. Partly because I didn't want them to notice my strange expression, and partly because I didn't want to be a third wheel between them. When I arrived at the newsstand, I discovered that the latest issue of Supreme Vogue had been published. I instinctively bought a copy because the cover star this time was none other than Sophia. Sophia and Tyler truly are a match made in heaven, even the magazine editor paired them together. I suddenly felt very jealous of Sophia, not because she was a model, but because she was an outsider. It wouldn't matter if I didn't have a perfect figure, a beautiful face, or a sharp intellect, if only I weren't Tyler's sister, how much better would that be? Oh my God! Am I going crazy? Why am I thinking about such impossible things? It's all Tyler's fault, that brat. He already has a girlfriend, so why did he kiss me? It made me feel like some kind of experiment subject. No matter how hard I tried to tell myself not to think about it, every time I flipped through a page of Supreme Vogue, tears would unconsciously leave their mark on each sheet of paper. As my tears kept falling, a white handkerchief appeared in front of me, just like last time. I quickly looked up, and it turned out to be Leo Carter again. Why does this guy always show up whenever I'm crying? Can't he just pretend not to see me? The impression I must have left on him is surely that of a weakling who does nothing but cry on the streets. Thank you. I took his handkerchief, wiping my tears while sniffling. Oh, right, I haven't returned the handkerchief from last time yet. If you've already washed it, just throw it away. Why? So, should I only return it if I haven't washed it? Because it no longer holds your precious tears, Daisy. Tears are precious. I didn't understand what he meant, but as I wiped away my tears, he stretched out both hands in front of me. I handed back the handkerchief I had just used, and he carefully folded it before putting it into his pocket. Oh my goodness. It seems like not only have I lost my mind, but this boy is even more peculiar. His strange hobby of collecting such things truly sends shivers down my spine. 10. The shirt of love. That's right. That outfit. I won't return the straw lover to you, Daisy. Before I could finish my sentence, Leo Carter had already taken 3 steps back in fear and said, I really like that outfit. Name your price, I can pay any amount. Huh. I wasn't even talking about the straw lover. Even if he gave it back to me, I wouldn't know what to do with it. My room is messy enough as it is, there's no space for those kinds of works. I'm talking about the outfit you wore during the competition. It's still at my place, and I haven't had the chance to return it to you yet. That outfit is definitely worth more than the straw lover, and you think I'd dare ask you for money? Oh. You can just toss that for me. The factory has plenty of new designs anyway. Just a moment ago, he was stepping back, and now he's approaching me again. Huh. I completely give up on him. People often say they have plenty of clothes at home, but he gets his directly from the factory. Does that mean his clothes are like tissues, wash them once and throw them away? I'm suddenly starving, Daisy. Let me treat you to a meal. Leo Carter clutched his stomach and suddenly jumped in front of me. How about I treat you instead, as a thank you for comforting me twice already? That works too. Next time, it'll be my turn to thank you for giving me the straw lover. I took Leo Carter to the Fortune Delight restaurant at the end of the street and treated him to a 3D-ish rice bowl worth 10 coins. Considering Leo Carter is the heir to a large corporation, I thought he would surely be dissatisfied with this place. Surprisingly, not only did Leo Carter not complain, but he also ate with great enjoyment. Ever since Tyler became famous as a model, he no longer wanted to dine with me here and would only allow me to bring food back for him. I understood this because the behavior of any representative directly impacts the brand's reputation. While eating, I asked Leo Carter why he liked the outfit I made so much. I had always thought it was due to my design, but it turned out to be for another reason. Leo Carter shared that when he was a child, his mother used to tell him the same bedtime story every night to help him sleep. It was the story of the straw lover. The story goes, in an ancient land in South Africa, a tribal prince deeply fell in love with a poor girl. Their love was opposed by the royal family, so the prince eloped with her. They arrived at a field filled with fine grass and decided to hold their wedding there. With nothing in hand, the prince wove bracelets and rings out of fine grass to give to the bride, vowing to stay together forever and hoping one day they could return home. One day, the fine grass ring suddenly broke, and at that moment, 2 royal guards appeared before them. It turned out that the king and queen, longing for their son, had forgiven them long ago and had sent people to bring them back to the palace. Thus, fine grass is also known as wish grass. My mother passed away 8 years ago when I was just 10, and my younger sister was only 8. Losing the person I loved most while simultaneously having to take on the responsibility of a massive family business, the only thing that kept me motivated was the fine grass bracelet my mother had woven for me. That's why, when I saw your outfit, I felt it wasn't just clothing but a creation filled with love. Wearing it, I could feel a happiness I had never experienced before. Leo Carter had always been clumsy, yet suddenly he spoke such profound words, leaving me a little bewildered. Leo Carter, happiness will surely always be with you because you have so much four-leaf clover. I held Leo Carter's hand and sincerely said to him. Chapter 5, Confronting the Enemy with a Successful Demeanor. 01, the tour. When I got home, unexpectedly, Tyler wasn't there, though Mom had already returned. "Mom, where's Tyler?" When I got back, he wasn't here. But he did call to ask if you were home yet. Could it be that he went out to look for you? Mom, what time did you get back? 6 o'clock. I looked up at the large clock hanging on the wall. It was already past 10 p.m. Could it be that he had been looking for me this whole time? I remembered that when school ended, it was already past 5:40 p.m., and Tyler and Sophia came home together. Handling Sophia's clothes probably took around 10 minutes. In other words, after I left, Tyler and Sophia must have left as well. In my hurry to leave earlier, I had forgotten my phone in my room. When I checked it, there were 20 missed calls, all from Tyler's number. I immediately called Tyler back, telling him I was home and asking him to come back quickly. When Tyler got home, I asked why he had been so eager to find me and if something had happened. But he still wouldn't say anything, continuing to keep his feelings to himself. Saturday. Today is the day I've long been looking forward to, the day we visit the garment factory. Early in the morning, I gathered with 10 members of our club at school, but the new, famously generous member was nowhere to be seen. However, he had already arranged everything perfectly. He sent 2 luxurious, expensive cars to pick us up and take us to the garment factory located on the outskirts. Word had it that he was already waiting for us there. The garment factory was situated far from the city center, almost as if it no longer belonged to the city we lived in. After more than an hour of traveling, during which we played cards and had lunch in the car, making the time pass quickly, we finally arrived. What unfolded before us was a scene beyond imagination. It turned out that the factory we were about to visit was none other than the production facility of the Supreme Vogue brand. So then, could the famously generous new member actually be? Was I just slow to react, or was the reality simply too surprising? As the answer formed in my mind, the figure of Leo Carter appeared before us. That must have been a tiring journey. "Welcome, everyone, to my family's factory," Leo Carter greeted us warmly and introduced the plan for the next 2 days. "Leave your luggage on the cars for now. First, I'll guide you through the factory's production lines. In the afternoon, we'll head to a nearby villa area to rest. On the way, I'll hand out room keys. Each room accommodates 2 people, so you can decide your roommates. After settling into your rooms and storing your belongings, you can change and relax at the outdoor hot springs. Later, someone will escort you to the dining area. At 10 p.m., there will be a fireworks display for anyone interested. Tomorrow morning, I'll take you to the design headquarters of Supreme Vogue to learn about the work behind this successful brand. Finally, I hope everyone has a wonderful trip." Leo Carter's speech concluded, and thunderous applause erupted. Truly amazing. As expected from the heir of Supreme Vogue. Who knew Leo Carter also had a knack for being a tour guide? The Supreme Vogue factory is much larger than we had imagined. It would probably take a whole week to explore it all, but we only had half a day, so Leo Carter could only show us a small part. 02, special offers. After finishing the factory tour and stepping outside, I followed behind the group and got into the same vehicle I had sat in earlier. But unexpectedly, Leo Carter pulled me back from behind. "Miss Daisy, it's too crowded here. Why don't you come with me to another car? There's still plenty of space." How could it be crowded? There were 2 10-seat cars, and excluding Leo Carter, there were only 10 of us, leaving half the seats empty. However, Leo Carter ignored my objections, pulling me into a different car, even mentioning that my luggage had already been sent to the villa. When we arrived at the villa, surrounded by beautiful scenery and a comfortable atmosphere, Leo Carter handed me a room card. "Didn't they say it was 2 people per room? Why are you giving me my own room card?" Miss Daisy, you're my honored guest, so you get special treatment. I don't need any special treatment. In an unfamiliar place, sleeping alone at night is really scary. If you're afraid of the dark at night, my room is right next door. You can come find me anytime. Leo Carter said casually. I've also prepared a few swimsuits for you, feel free to choose whichever you like. Are they all bikinis? Why do I feel like Leo Carter's intentions don't seem entirely innocent? Ah! How could I think like that? Leo Carter is still such a sweet and innocent child, he simply wants to show his gratitude to me. Daisy, you idiot, stop overthinking. As I was patting my head, a shadow suddenly lunged toward Leo Carter. You beast in human disguise, what are you planning to do to my sister? It was Tyler. Why was he here? Seeing Tyler's figure, I felt a fleeting moment of joy, lasting no more than 0.001 seconds. But as soon as I spotted Sophia walking behind him, that joy instantly vanished. Sis, we meet again. Sophia greeted me sweetly. Ah, hi, Sophia. Why are you two here? I hadn't told Tyler I'd be here. Besides, I didn't even know I'd come here myself. Shouldn't I be the one asking you that question? Daisy Bloom, didn't you say you were attending a club activity? Tyler asked angrily. I am attending a club activity. Did I say something wrong? It's just that this activity turned out to be a bit different from what I imagined. Daisy Bloom, I don't recall inviting you here. Or could it be that you're actually the anonymous stalker who's been lurking for the past 60 years? Leo Carter teased, pretending to be scared as he clung to my arm. Didn't I warn you to stay away from her? Tyler immediately pulled Leo Carter off me, but Leo stubbornly refused to let go. And why should I listen to you? The villa suddenly became chaotic because of these two kids. I couldn't be bothered to care. Taking advantage of the commotion, I slipped away, quickly heading to my room to change clothes and soak in the hot spring. I was still worried that the swimsuit Leo Carter had prepared for me would be a bikini or a three-piece set, but it turned out I was overthinking. Not only was he considerate, but he was also very thoughtful, preparing a variety of swimsuit styles. As a conservative and simple girl, of course, I chose the most modest one. Otherwise, how else could I explain why I still don't have a boyfriend up to now? 03, the popular star here, the hot spring is divided into separate male and female areas in a traditional style. Perhaps because it's located in the suburbs and villa area, and since it's not a holiday, there aren't many visitors here. As a result, we girls all felt very comfortable. Isn't that the famous model Sophia Lane? Why is she here? She's a model and also a representative for Supreme Vogue. It's not surprising to see her here. Apparently, she's also a friend of Leo Carter. Wow! Her figure is amazing, so enviable. Sophia, dressed in a stunning swimsuit, stepped into the hot spring, immediately drawing attention in sparking whispers. Perhaps accustomed to being in the spotlight, Sophia appeared very natural and even took the initiative to greet us. Hello, everyone. You're all friends of Leo Carter, right? That's right. Sophia, your skin is so beautiful. How do you take care of it? Sophia, you have such a great figure. What do you usually eat? Sophia's friendly personality naturally attracted both men and women, and she quickly blended in with everyone. In contrast, I seemed to become the forgotten one. It wasn't that I didn't want to join their conversation, but standing among them only made me feel more insecure. So, I chose to stand aside and quietly listen to their chatter. After soaking long enough, I was about to get out when Sophia suddenly called out to me. Big sister. She seemed to intentionally call me Big Sister, even though there were others older than her present, yet she only addressed me this way. Please don't misunderstand. Tyler and I didn't mean to follow you. We were just coincidentally invited here by nicotine. Nicotine? Isn't nicotine a harmful substance found in cigarettes? You don't know nicotine? Hasn't Tyler or Leo Carter ever mentioned him to you? Sophia asked, looking genuinely surprised. Aren't you asking something you already know the answer to? I don't smoke, so why would I need to know who nicotine is? As I was about to walk away, she deliberately raised her voice and said, Nicotine is Leo Carter's uncle and also the design director of Supreme Vogue. Although there's a whole generation gap between them, their bond is as close as if they were real brothers. Before Sophia could finish her sentence, I quickly left the hot spring. As close as real brothers? Since when? Why has Tyler never mentioned to me that he has another brother? Am I not closer to him than some outsider? When I arrived at the dining area, Tyler and Sophia unhesitatingly joined our table. Clearly, they weren't part of the design department, yet they were so well liked by everyone, as if celebrities had joined our event. Without any performance or effort, they instantly became the center of attention. Is Tyler really your brother? You two don't look alike at all, the girl sitting next to me lightly tapped my hand and asked. You should ask Mendel about that. How would I know? I brushed her off and continued eating. Who is Mendel? Is he your parents? The girl continued asking. How annoying this girl is. Our family name is Bloom, how could Mendel possibly be our parents? Mendel is the father of genetics, the great man who discovered the laws of inheritance. I explained. Oh. But he has already passed away, hasn't he? How can I ask him then? What I mean is, no one can explain this issue. After finishing their meal, the group of young people started pouring drinks. The group leader enthusiastically poured me a glass as well, but just as I was about to decline, Tyler and Leo Carter immediately stood up. Their strong reaction instantly caught everyone's attention. Sister Daisy can't drink alcohol, I'll drink this on her behalf. Leo Carter was the first to stand up, taking the glass of alcohol offered by the group leader and downing it in one go. How did Leo Carter know I'm allergic to alcohol? Did Tyler tell him? Daisy can't drink alcohol. Why not? The group leader asked curiously. If she drinks, she'll start flipping around non-stop, it's really scary. Leo Carter said in a completely absurd manner. Really? Then we better not let her drink. The group leader hugged the beer bottle and immediately ran far away from me. Such a reason, and you still believe it? People really are foolish. But that's fine, this way no one will invite me for a drink anymore. 04, under the night sky, Sister Daisy, let's go. Leo Carter whispered in my ear while pulling my hand to leave the restaurant. Where are we going? I reluctantly followed Leo Carter, just as I caught Tyler's sharp gaze. He looked at us with an expression I had never seen before. As if saying, if you follow him, you're done for. Humph. What are you staring at? You have a girlfriend by your side, how could you possibly understand my feelings? Leo Carter is very well behaved, very adorable, just like my own little brother. Even though we've only met 3 times, it feels like we've known each other forever, so close and familiar. Exactly. I wish I had a younger brother like Leo Carter. If Leo Carter were my brother, it would be wonderful, at least 1,000,000 times better than Tyler. It seemed like Leo Carter was very familiar with the area. He led me to an observation deck, and just as we reached the top of the tower, fireworks began to bloom. Wow! What a breathtaking sight! Living in the city, we rarely get the chance to see such dazzling fireworks. Even though the government occasionally organizes firework displays during festivals, the city skies are not as clear as here, and the brilliance of thousands of city lights dims the beauty of the fireworks. The fireworks blossomed in the crisp night sky, as if you only needed to reach out to touch them. Leo Carter, how did you know about this place? I lowered my hand, turning to ask Leo Carter with a radiant smile. Boom! 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 The fireworks continued to burst in the night sky, but now I could no longer see their colors. I could only hear the boom 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 echoing above. Because at the very moment I turned around, Leo Carter suddenly cupped my head with both hands and planted a deep kiss on my lips. My head spun. Do kids these days treat kissing like dessert after a meal? Do they not care who's around or whether there's a reason, they just kiss? Boom, I used all my strength to push Leo Carter away, vigorously wiping my lips. Boom. 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 The fireworks kept exploding above, but now I had no mind to admire them anymore. Sister Daisy, I like you. Leo Carter looked at me with a serious expression, not joking in the slightest. You might not believe me, but I swear on my life, I truly like you. I hope you can date me. Like? Date? Does this kid even understand the meaning of those words? Leo Carter, do you even know what you're saying? Today is only the third time we've met. Like doesn't depend on the number of times we meet, he replied confidently. I only see you as a younger brother, plus you're 2 years younger than me. Age isn't a problem. If you like mature people, I can protect you in the future. Ha! How amusing, using the tone of a little brother to say he wants to be my big brother. Honestly, I'm the one who should be protecting him. Actually, Leo Carter has nothing bad about him. From a girl's perspective, he's almost the perfect boyfriend. Handsome, bright, even a bit adorable, with a gentle and easygoing personality, very caring, intelligent, and on top of that, the heir to a major corporation. But, in my heart, it feels like someone else already occupies that space, leaving no room for anyone else. I'm sorry, He probably guessed I would reject him, so he quickly interrupted me. You don't have to answer right away. I'll give you time to think. When you're ready to accept me, let me know. What kind of logic is that? Wait until I accept him to respond, does that mean I don't have the right to refuse? But honestly, I do need time to sort out my feelings. I don't know if these sudden emotions toward Tyler are love or not. But I've definitely been acting strange lately, like my heart's been drenched in a huge jar of vinegar whenever I see Sophia and Tyler together. Even if it is love, even if it's real, I can't let these feelings grow any further. 05, he is mine, Leo Carter, why did you kiss me? Because I like you. He blurted out without thinking. Do you kiss people you don't like? Of course not. Then, what if someone else kisses you? Does that mean they like you too? Well. He paused for a moment but still answered firmly, if it's just a kiss on the cheek, it might not necessarily mean they like me. For instance, it could be a social gesture or familial affection, like between parents and children, they often kiss each other too. On the cheek. So, does he mean that a kiss on the lips must signify genuine affection? In that case, does Tyler's feelings for me mirror those of Leo Carter? At this moment, the fireworks had faded, and the night sky returned to its tranquil state. The stars above seemed to absorb the glow of the fireworks, shining even more brilliantly. Tyler. Tyler, wait for me. Sophia's voice echoed from the foot of the observation tower. Curious, I leaned down to look. Sophia was chasing after Tyler, who was walking ahead. It's dark and dirty here, let's go back. No one told you to follow me. I'm just worried about you. This late at night, where was Tyler planning to go? Isn't Sophia his girlfriend? Why would he leave her behind without a care? Could it be that they had a fight? We should head back as well. I thought Tyler and Sophia had gone far, but not. Long after stepping out of the observation tower, we still happened to run into them. Appearing as a pair, it felt a bit awkward. After all, Leo Carter and I weren't officially a couple yet, it felt like secretly dating behind my parents' backs and getting caught. Oh. You're quite skilled, aren't you? Getting so close to our boss so quickly. Soon, you won't even need to work hard to enjoy a life of luxury, Sophia remarked, her sharp tongue showing no restraint. Had I done something to bother her? Exactly. Are you jealous? I teased her intentionally. Humph. Jealous of what? The one I like is Tyler. Sophia retorted, clutching Tyler's arm tightly with both hands. Let go of Tyler. Out of nowhere, a sudden impulse overtook me. I just couldn't stand the sight of it. I said let go of Tyler. Tyler is mine, he's mine. Oh no. Why did I get stuck on my words here? Because of my sudden outburst, all three of them were now staring at me in shock. How was I supposed to salvage this situation? Tyler is my younger brother. No way. As his sister, yelling at his girlfriend would be so strange, wouldn't it? Tyler is my treasure. Also no. What if Tyler denied it? Wouldn't that make me even more embarrassed? At that moment, Tyler looked at me with eyes full of anticipation, leaving me flustered and unsure of what to do. Tyler is the most important person to me. Yes, that was my answer. I thought it was the perfect response, and it seemed to leave everyone stunned. The scene froze at that moment, everyone stood still in bewilderment. Did they not understand what I meant? Or were they pondering my answer? What should I do now? The atmosphere grew even more awkward. Before I could figure out how to deal with the tense silence, Tyler suddenly grabbed my hand and pulled me forward. Tyler. I'm your girlfriend, not her. Tyler. Sophia seemed to intentionally emphasize. Even though Sophia kept calling Tyler's name repeatedly from behind, he didn't stop for even a moment. 06, silhouette in the eyes. Tyler led me back to the front yard of the mansion. We didn't go inside but stopped beneath a cherry blossom tree. November wasn't the season for cherry blossoms to bloom. Dry leaves slowly fell before my eyes at a speed of 5 centimeters per second. Had we arrived too early? If we came 4 months later, perhaps we would witness a snow-covered scene. This seemed to imply that if I hadn't come to this world so early, everything might have been completely different. Just tell me one thing. To you, what am I? Tyler pressed closer step by step, cornering me against the tree trunk with no way out. He looked at me with deep, unfathomable eyes. I had never seen this look from Tyler before. In those pitch-black pupils, I could see my own reflection, as if my soul was being drawn into them. What do you mean? I just said it earlier, why ask again? My fragile heart couldn't take much more. The most important person, what does that mean? The most important person, is just the most important person. Was this kid trying to drive me insane? It's like mom and dad, someone who's an indispensable part of life. Just a part of life? Tyler asked, his tone laced with evident dissatisfaction. Daisy, do you like me? Today wasn't April Fool's Day, so why did it feel like everyone was teaming up to tease me? Leo Carter and Tyler, they always gave me the same feeling as younger brothers. Do they even know what liking someone or love truly means? One has only met me 3 times and is 2 years younger, yet claims to like me. The other has lived with me for 18 years and now asks if I like him. These love equations, ones even Einstein couldn't solve, how am I supposed to figure out the answer? Smack, I firmly pushed Tyler away. Maybe I understand love even less than they do, but I only have one answer, I absolutely cannot have feelings for Tyler. We are biological siblings who share the same bloodline. Tyler, don't ask such bizarre questions anymore. I'm your sister. Besides, don't you already have a girlfriend? I shouted loudly, throwing those words back at him before running straight into the villa without looking back. At this moment, Tyler's inner monologue, Daisy, I like you. I've always liked you. All this time, I've just been waiting for one answer from you, for you to tell me that you like me too. Only if you like me will I have the courage to tell you that we're not actually siblings and that we share no blood relation. If I reveal the truth before you develop feelings for me, I'll become nothing in your heart. That's why, until then, this sibling bond is the only thread keeping us connected. But if you could like me, I wouldn't need to rely on this sibling relationship to maintain our connection anymore. I'd take on the role of your boyfriend and always stay by your side to protect you. Daisy, can you hear me? 07, Design Director. The next day. I couldn't sleep all night. I, a small flower, had turned into a panda, the national treasure, by morning. Tyler's figure, gaze, and endless questions kept swirling in my mind, making it impossible to fall asleep. When I finally managed to drift off, he turned into a little devil, repeatedly appearing in my dreams. The next morning, I was so sleepy I didn't want to get up at all. But as soon as I woke up, I was informed that everyone in the club had already left the villa and was on their way to today's destination. They must have deliberately left me behind, and there's no need to guess who orchestrated this, Leo Carter, of course. Daisy, looks like you didn't sleep well last night. Was it because I wasn't by your side? Leo Carter still had the energy to joke early in the morning. It seems he's completely forgotten about what happened last night, hasn't he? Why aren't you calling me sister anymore? Before, he used to endlessly call me Sister Daisy, which was incredibly annoying. Now that he's suddenly changed how he addresses me, I find it unsettling. Because starting today, I want to be your big brother. His silly face was filled with satisfaction. Everyone's already left, so let's head out too. Oh, right. Where are Tyler and Sophia? Didn't they say they had something to do here? I wonder if they've finished. They left early this morning. But don't worry, we have a dedicated vehicle to pick them up. We won't let them be at a disadvantage. As expected, Leo Carter is a thoughtful and considerate person. When we returned to the Supreme Vogue production headquarters, before we could reunite with the group, Leo Carter received a phone call. Apparently, it was something from the finance department that needed his attention. So, he instructed his subordinate to take me to find my companions, all while nagging repeatedly like a mother. I have something to handle first. Absolutely do not follow strangers, okay? Even if they offer you candy, don't go. Do you think I'm like you? If you encounter any bad people, call me immediately, and I'll come to rescue you. Leo Carter, do you see me as an idiot now? Only after I snapped at him did he obediently go off to deal with his important matters. Is this how he treats me under the guise of being an older brother? This so-called older brother is certainly overly talkative. Clearly, this is his family's factory, not some dangerous place. Why would there be so many bad people here? Not long after Leo Carter left, a stranger really did appear. He said that their design director wanted to meet me. The person Leo Carter had assigned to escort me immediately and respectfully handed me over to this stranger upon hearing the words, design director. The design director? Could it be the person Sophia mentioned, Nicotine? Why would this person want to meet me? Even if he didn't offer me candy, I would willingly follow him, because I'm genuinely curious to know who this person, known by all three of them, really is. A stranger led me to an elegant restaurant, with an ambience resembling a very quiet café. Inside the spacious restaurant, there was only one middle-aged man leisurely enjoying his coffee. That man was the rumored figure, Nicotine. Hello, sir. May I ask if you were looking for me for something? I approached him and politely inquired. Ah. So, you're the sister Leo Carter and Tyler often mention. Much more adorable than I imagined. Nicotine stood up courteously and gestured for me to sit across from him. Tyler mentioned me. It wasn't surprising for Leo Carter to talk about me, he's like a broadcasting speaker, endlessly chatty. But Tyler was different, he rarely shared his feelings, whether happy or sad, making his topics hard to predict. Every time I make him work overtime for a new shoot, he always says, I can't leave Daisy Bloom at home alone in the evening, otherwise, some flower thief might target her. Ha, isn't that funny? I glared at him, finding it not funny at all. 08, The Golden Rule. When he smiled brightly, I focused intently on observing Nicotine for a while. Judging by his appearance alone, it was hard to determine his exact age, probably somewhere between 28 and 38 years old. He dressed in the traditional style of an average designer. His hair was messy, reaching down to his eyebrows and ears, clearly not frequently groomed or trimmed. Around the corners of his mouth, a beard had grown to a noticeable length, likely needing only 2 or 3 days without shaving to reach that state. His outfit was casually coordinated but left a distinct impression, adhering to the golden rule of color matching, no more than 3 colors on his person. Oh, right. I got too carried away and forgot to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Ding Corny, but everyone calls me Nicotine. I'm Leo Carter's uncle. Initially, I planned to invite you to my office to discuss things in detail, but I worried that the formal environment might make you nervous. This time, I've asked you here for 2 reasons. First, I deeply admire your work in this year's grand fashion design competition and hope you can join our design team. Second, I sincerely thank you for changing Leo Carter and helping him rediscover the happiness he once had. Me? I pointed to myself in surprise and asked, Mr. Nicotine, are you mistaken? I didn't do anything. I saw it with my own eyes, there's no mistake. Nicotine looked at me with determined eyes, though it seemed as if he was seeing someone else through me. That day, I saw Leo Carter standing on stage, smiling from the bottom of his heart. I was almost taken aback. Ever since his mother passed away 5 years ago, I hadn't seen that kind of smile on his face. I wasn't sure how Leo Carter felt at that moment when he completed the entire performance, but the catwalk is such a serious place, and yet he dared to smile in front of the audience. Even if it was his family's stage, he should have considered the setting. But, isn't Leo Carter someone who loves to smile? He seems cheerful every day. Why did you find his smile so special? I asked, puzzled. That's precisely what he hides best. Everyone sees him laughing and joking all day, appearing carefree, but in reality, he's just masking his vulnerability in sensitivity. At his mother's funeral, when Leo Carter was only 11 years old, he didn't cry but instead faced the truth with strength. He knew that if he showed weakness in front of others, he'd be trampled on. To shoulder the enormous responsibility of eminence couture in the future, he had no choice but to present an image of success to his adversaries. Listening to Ding Corny's words, I felt the same astonishment Columbus must have experienced upon discovering the Americas. Oh my! That foolish Leo Carter, it turns out he's such an admirable person. I've completely changed my perspective on him. Thinking back to when I was his age, I lived carefree every day, accomplishing nothing of significance, assuming everything around me was a given, and believing that what my parents provided was just natural. But Leo Carter, at such a young age, already understood how to create great achievements on the foundation his parents had built. He wasn't satisfied with the present, not out of ambition, but because of his strong sense of responsibility. Running a company wasn't just about taking care of his own family, it was about being the backbone for thousands of employees in the company. 09. Harmful substances. Regarding the job I just mentioned, have you thought about it? Would you like to become a part of us? Nicotine continued the earlier conversation. Become a part of them? Could I really do that? This possibility had never even crossed my wildest dreams. Becoming a designer without graduating from the Academy of Arts. Could I really? I'm just an ordinary student at an ordinary school. This might be the most exciting news of my life, but I was worried I had misheard or misunderstood, so I hesitantly asked again. I have no experience at all. How could I possibly become a designer for an internationally renowned fashion brand? A successful designer has little to do with age or experience. What we need is the courage to innovate and a passion for the job. Both of these qualities are evident in your work. You don't need to decide right away, you can give me your answer anytime. After all, the position left vacant by the irresponsible designer we just fired, Wang Fu, is reserved for you. Wanfu's position. I never expected that failing a design competition would lead to me stepping into the role of lead designer. This feels as unbelievable as humans landing on the moon a century earlier than expected, utterly surreal. Could it be, thanks to Leo Carter and Tyler? Although I never blamed them, the main reason I lost the competition was because of their actions. If Tyler hadn't told Sean not to participate in my competition, and if Leo Carter had informed me earlier that he was actually the CEO of Supreme Vogue, the outcome might have been different. Mr. Nicotine, I deeply appreciate your high regard for me. Becoming a fashion designer has been my long-standing dream. However, I believe that life offers no shortcuts, and I want to achieve my goals step by step through my own efforts. That's right. If I took this opportunity to leap into the position of lead designer at Eminence Couture, I wouldn't even need to apply to the Caxby Academy of Arts anymore. This would save me 3 to 4 years. Even if I still wanted to apply, the school would prioritize admitting me because I'd already be a designer for Eminence Couture. This is truly a perfect opportunity, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. But I understand that happiness that comes too unexpectedly will also disappear just as quickly. If I don't climb step by step on my own, I'll miss the beautiful sights along the way and the valuable lessons accumulated during the journey. There may be some difficulties and failures on the path, but those are precious experiences that money cannot buy. Ha ha ha. You really resemble that person. Mr. Nicotine burst into laughter. You don't think Leo Carter and Tyler recommended you to me, do you? Unfortunately, they didn't say anything at all, everything was my decision. Oh no. Turns out I overthought it. But this man is truly impressive, he can see through my thoughts instantly. Although he seems a bit petty, he doesn't look like a bad person. Why did Leo Carter say earlier that he was a bad guy? He even told me to call him immediately if I met any bad person. Clearly, he was referring to Nicotine. The person you just mentioned. Who is that? I asked curiously. I just suddenly felt that you resemble Leo Carter's mother a bit. This answer truly surprised me. As he spoke, Mr. Nicotine lit a cigarette, took a contemplative puff, and said, "She's like you, a very hard-working person. Unless there was no other choice, she wouldn't accept help from others. Her health wasn't good, but she still persevered, working while taking care of 2 small children." In a flash, I snatched the burning cigarette from Mr. Nicotine's hand. 10. Living in the heart. Please learn to love yourself more. I don't know where I got the courage, but I shouted loudly in the quiet restaurant, for your own sake, as well as for Leo Carter, Anna Carter, Eminence Couture, Supreme Vogue, and everyone else. Hearing Mr. Nicotine's recollection about Leo Carter's mother, I felt that each of us, those still living in this world, must be braver and strive harder to live than she did. If everyone only thinks about living for themselves, they will never find true happiness. Although Leo Carter's mother left this world too soon, her spirit still lives on in everyone's hearts. A human life lasts only a few short decades. If we don't face life positively, even our souls will end up in hell after death. Daisy Bloom. Will you marry me? Mr. Nicotine suddenly embraced me tightly in a flash. What on earth just happened? I was clearly advising him, not confessing. Why did he suddenly hug me so tightly? And propose to me? While I was still panicking, unsure of what to do, Leo Carter suddenly appeared out of nowhere. He immediately pulled Mr. Nicotine away from me, grabbed his collar, and threw a punch at his face. Oh my goodness! How could Leo Carter act so impulsively? Isn't Mr. Nicotine his uncle? TSK TSK TSK. You brat! You even hit your own uncle. All my kindness to you was wasted. Mr. Nicotine held his injured face, speaking in a pitiful tone. Even if someone dares to harass my VIP guest, no matter who they are, I'll hit them. Before Leo Carter could lose his temper again, I tried my best to hold him back. Didn't Sophia say their relationship was as close as real siblings? But from what I see, it's far from that. Mr. Nicotine, thank you for hosting us today. While struggling to drag Leo Carter out of the restaurant, I bowed and apologized to Mr. Nicotine. Sorry, I have to take Leo Carter away now. Why should I leave? This is my company. Seeing Leo Carter so furious he was practically fuming, Mr. Nicotine deliberately blew me a kiss. This man truly loved stirring up trouble. Finally reunited with the rest of the design team, Leo Carter gradually calmed down. Clearly, this was supposed to be a group activity, yet I was the only one not sticking with the team. When today's tour ended and everyone boarded the bus to head back, I secretly went back one more time. I suddenly need to use the restroom. Wait for me a bit, I'll be right back. I pretended to clutch my stomach as I spoke. Let me take you there. Should I call my family doctor? Leo Carter was the first to ask anxiously. No need. I just passed by there, I remember the way, I'll be back soon. Taking advantage of the moment before anyone could follow, I quickly ran back to the spot where I had just met Mr. Nicotine. Luckily, he was still at the cafe, sitting alone. Huff huff, I gasped for breath. Mr. Nicotine, I have a question for you. Do you like your sister? Earlier, when he said I reminded him of his sister, he suddenly asked me to marry him. Could it be that Mr. Nicotine, like me, has a secret sibling love that cannot be revealed? Seeing me suddenly appear in front of him, Mr. Nicotine was startled for a moment, then calmly replied. I like her very much, but I don't think it's the kind of liking you're imagining. Mr. Nicotine once again saw through my thoughts. After all, she's 11 years older than me. She's more like a mother to me. She's the closest person to me, someone I rely on the most. Oh. I see. Sorry, I'll excuse myself. I don't know why, but I feel a bit disappointed. I thought I had found someone who understood me, but it turns out I was mistaken. Chapter 6, Embracing a Psalm 01. Amazing Discovery. After 2 days of sightseeing, as we left Supreme Vogue, Leo Carter invited us out for a meal and even arranged for a driver to take each of us home. When we returned to the city, although my house wasn't too far away, Leo Carter still wasn't comfortable letting me go home on my own. He even arranged for a smaller car and personally drove me all the way to my doorstep. I had so much fun these past 2 days, Leo Carter. Thank you. I said sincerely as we stood at my door to say goodbye. If you want to thank me, give me a kiss. He closed his eyes, puckered his lips, and tilted his head toward me. I immediately used the cannon flick move, lightly flicking his forehead with my finger. You've had a tiring couple of days too, so hurry home and get some rest. After saying this, I quickly ran into the house. If I had hesitated for even a moment, who knows what other unreasonable requests he might have made. Mom. I'm home. Mom. I called out repeatedly while taking off my shoes at the door, but there was no response. Could it be that no one's home? It's already 9 p.m., where could Tyler have gone at this hour? I thought there was no one home, but as I quietly set my luggage down, I suddenly heard my mom's voice coming from the second-floor balcony. Honey, what should we do now? That person asked to borrow money from me again today. I'm scared that if I don't lend it, he'll threaten me using the child. I couldn't clearly hear what Dad was saying on the phone. Last time it was 3,000, and today it's 5,000. For over 10 years, we've struggled to raise his child without taking a single penny from him, yet he keeps demanding money from us. No, it can't be. Tyler and I aren't Mom and Dad's biological children. How could this be? Honey, can we move? Let's relocate somewhere else so he can't find us anymore. But I'm really scared he will take Tyler back. For the past 18 years, I've taken care of him through so many hardships. Even though he's quirky and doesn't listen to me, I truly love this child." Before hanging up, Mom couldn't hold back her tears and sobbed uncontrollably. How could this happen? So, Tyler isn't the biological child of our family? Hearing this shocking news, my heart felt like thousands of horses were stampeding through it. It was an indescribable feeling, not joy, not sadness, but utter confusion, extreme confusion. If Mom hadn't cried to the point of losing control, I would have rushed to her right away to ask what on earth was going on. But sadly, seeing her so heartbroken, if she knew I had found out, she would definitely collapse. What should I do? What do I do now? Should I tell Tyler about this? If Tyler finds out, how would he react? Wait a minute. Could it be that Tyler has actually known about this all along? If not, why did he ask me if I liked him? Moreover, ever since he became a model, he stopped calling me sister and addressing himself as little brother. I remember before he turned 8, he always clung to me and loved calling me sister so much. No, regardless of whether Tyler knows about this or not, I must tell him. If I'm not Tyler's biological sister, then does that mean I now have the right to say, "I like you"? I struggled to stand up, bringing nothing but my phone. I ran out while calling Tyler. 02, I like you. At this crucial moment, Tyler refused to answer my call. On the phone, his favorite song, "Why Do I Like You," by TVXQ, kept playing on repeat. In the past, I always thought he simply liked this song. But now, listening to it again, I suddenly realized that the lyrics seemed to echo Tyler's inner feelings. We both had feelings for someone we shouldn't like and couldn't like. The lyrics of "Why Do I Like You" carry a very sorrowful meaning, yet they are delivered through cheerful melodies and rhythms. It's because even if one cannot be with the person they like, they still have to smile and wish them happiness. Listening to the song again, I suddenly felt the urge to cry. Before the tears could fall, Tyler finally picked up the phone. "Daisy? What's so urgent that you're calling me?" "Tyler, where are you? Where are you? I'll come find you." "No. This time, let me come pick you up." "Where are you?" "I'm at." Tyler paused for a moment, probably looking around to figure out his location. "I'm in front of the Cloverleaf overpass." Locating Tyler's position, I dashed off as if I were sprinting a 100-meter race. I swear to the heavens, not even during the school sports festival had I ever run this hard. Huff, 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 I'm almost out of breath. Honestly, I don't understand why I'm in such a rush. Even if I were a bit slower, Tyler wouldn't just disappear. But I truly want to tell him my feelings right now. When I reached the Cloverleaf overpass, I anxiously searched around but couldn't spot Tyler anywhere. Could he have already left? There's a famous saying by Zhu Duanru, "Turning back, that person is still there under the faint light." And there he was, Tyler was on the other side of the overpass. However, between us lay a wide road with barriers on both sides. To reach him, I had to cross the overpass. All right. After running so far, what's another 100 steps to get to the other side? I bit my lip and mustered all my strength to climb the overpass. Why does it have to be an overpass? Climbing it feels like stepping onto a stage meant solely for me. Now standing atop the overpass, I looked down at Tyler to see if he noticed me. Leaning against the wall, he was deeply engrossed in listening to music from his MP5, seemingly unaware of my presence. Gripping the overpass railing tightly, I clung to the hope that he might hear me. Then, I shouted as loudly as I could toward him, "Like, you, Tyler." To my surprise, Tyler actually heard me. He took off his headphones immediately and looked straight up at me. Of course, besides Tyler, every passerby had their eyes fixed on me as well. "Sorry, Mom and Dad, but right now, I really want to tell the whole world, Tyler, I like you." "Tyler, I finally have an answer. Have you been waiting for my response?" Hearing my unexpected confession, Tyler was momentarily stunned, then immediately smiled and ran toward me. We hugged each other tightly on the overpass, ignoring the curious glances of passers-by. Perhaps because it was late at night, the overpass was nearly deserted, while below, the traffic remained bustling, giving us the feeling of floating on clouds. On the overpass, there was also a beggar playing guitar, whose gentle melody added to the romantic atmosphere between us. 03, Memories of being 8 years old. Did I hear it wrong? Do you really like me? Can you say it again? Tyler pushed me away, crying while grabbing hold of me to ask. If I didn't like you, I would have thrown you off the bridge long ago. How could I possibly let you hug me through an entire song? I like you. I like you. I like you. I repeated excitedly, I like you, Tyler Bloom. Not my brother Tyler Bloom, but the Tyler Bloom who has no blood relation to me. You already know everything. Who told you? Tyler clearly had known about this for a long time, otherwise, how could he be so calm? I overheard Mom talking on the phone just now. Tyler, when did you find out? Why didn't you tell me? If my guess is right, he's known for a long time, maybe since elementary school. Oh my God. Back then, Tyler was so young. How could he have handled such a huge shock? Knowing that his biological parents had abandoned him, and that the people he thought were family weren't actually related to him. If it were me, I would have cried and run away from home for sure. That doesn't matter anymore. It's enough just to be by Daisy's side as her boyfriend. Tyler didn't tell me the truth, it must have been a very painful past, one he didn't want to recall. Tyler Bloom, you idiot. If I had known earlier that you weren't our biological family, I would have treated you better. At the very least, I wouldn't have gotten angry with you so often, wouldn't have fought you for the meat, wouldn't have always lectured you as your older sister. At that time, Tyler must have been so sad. What he needed most back then was a warm family and caring loved ones. Mom and Dad were always busy with work. The only person who could have comforted him was me, but I ended up doing all the wrong things. Tyler's memory at 8 years old. Today, before their parents returned home, Daisy secretly opened a bottle of beer their dad had hidden in the fridge. Both siblings knew their dad had warned them that kids were not allowed to drink beer. But out of overwhelming curiosity, Daisy was determined to try the taste of beer because she noticed how much their dad seemed to enjoy it whenever he drank. To ensure she wouldn't get in trouble alone if caught, Daisy forced Tyler to drink with her. After each of them drank half the bottle, they both began to feel unwell. Their heads spun, and they couldn't distinguish directions. Tyler remembered that during a lesson, their teacher had mentioned that if food was contaminated, drinking plenty of water could dilute the toxins. Since it was their first time drinking beer and they knew nothing about it, they assumed beer was something only adults could handle, and that kids drinking it might get poisoned and die, hence why adults forbade them from drinking it. A while later, Tyler gradually started to feel better, with the discomfort subsiding. But Daisy's condition worsened, red rashes appeared all over her body, and her face turned as red as a tomato. Tyler urged Daisy to keep drinking water, but she couldn't take another sip. Her body grew increasingly hot, as if she had a high fever. Tyler wanted to call their dad immediately, but Daisy stopped him. She didn't dare tell their parents because she thought that if Tyler was fine, she would also recover soon. After all, she knew she often reacted slower than others. However, Daisy's consciousness grew fainter, and she thought lying on her bed might make her feel better. But as she tried to make her way to her room, she collapsed. Right in front of the door. Sis. 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 Tyler cried while shaking Daisy vigorously, but she didn't respond at all. She's dead. She must be dead. Only dead people don't react like this. Young Tyler, only 8 years old, was so terrified that he didn't know what to do. But holding on to the last shred of composure, he immediately called his dad. Dad. Dad, she's dead. She's dead. Dad, please save her. Tyler cried so much that his voice became hoarse, unable to speak clearly. 04. The darkness of childhood. Although he didn't know what had happened, upon hearing Tyler's heart-wrenching cries, Mr. Bloom immediately rushed back home. When he arrived, he saw Daisy lying on the floor and quickly took her to the hospital. On the way there, Mr. Bloom asked Tyler what had happened, and Tyler honestly recounted the events. Gently, Mr. Bloom reassured him, saying that Daisy was just drunk and would recover soon. Though his father's words acted as a soothing balm for Tyler's nerves, he couldn't shake the fear that Daisy might never wake up again. After this incident, the Bloom family discovered that Daisy had an alcohol allergy. The reason Tyler had gotten angry and hit the man with glasses at the Happy Bar earlier was because the man had forced Daisy to drink alcohol, triggering a deep-seated fear from Tyler's childhood. At that time, Tyler had truly been terrified. He thought his sister might leave him forever. That night, after returning from the hospital, Daisy still had a high fever. Tyler wanted to sleep next to her, but their mother, worried about the illness spreading, didn't allow him near her. Thinking his parents had gone to bed, Tyler tiptoed barefoot to Daisy's room. However, as he passed through the living room, he unexpectedly discovered that his parents were still awake and overheard a conversation he wasn't meant to hear. The school is asking for Tyler's household registration. He's already in 2nd grade and still hasn't been registered. The school is starting to find it strange, his mother said anxiously, sitting on the sofa. I called the police department today to follow up. They said they'll resolve it within this month, his father replied quietly. Why is it so difficult to get a household registration? If he were a child adopted from an orphanage, they'd handle it immediately, his mother said angrily. She's your best friend, isn't she? There was no other choice. Sending the child to the orphanage would have been too cruel. If he ended up being adopted by bad people, he'd suffer for the rest of his life. Tyler bit his lip hard to keep himself from crying and carefully continued toward Daisy's room, making sure his parents didn't notice him. Climbing onto his sister's bed, he broke down in tears. Why me? Why am I the abandoned child? Why am I not their real son? Why am I not truly her little brother? Why? Carrying countless questions in search of answers, Tyler asked himself repeatedly, but the answer was always the same. No. No meant no. There was no other reason. From that moment, Tyler began training himself to stop addressing her as sister and referring to himself as younger brother. He feared that one day, when he left this family, he would no longer be able to directly call his parents and sister like that. Confronted with the fear of the future, it was better to adapt early. This way, he could also remind himself to prepare for an independent life later on. Unexpectedly, Tyler discovered that Daisy was truly clumsy. Not only was she not good at studying, but she was also frequently bullied at school. Daisy started to rely heavily on Tyler. He worried that, after leaving this family, Daisy would be deeply saddened. Therefore, he resolved to act coldly and ignore everything related to Daisy. Even though Tyler treated Daisy so poorly, she still cared for him as usual. Daisy not only played the role of a sister but also took on the responsibilities of their parents. In this family, Daisy was Tyler's only support. Gradually, the familial bond between them unknowingly transformed into another kind of emotion. Because Daisy's dream was to become a fashion designer, Tyler decided to become a model. The memory ends. 05. A love threatened. Tyler, should we be honest and talk to Mom and Dad about this? I asked nervously. Do you think they would agree? Tyler frowned and questioned back. I lowered my head, thinking for a moment, but eventually shook it firmly. If Mom and Dad found out, they would definitely stop me and Tyler from being together. Mom, to prevent anyone from discovering this, even considered moving houses. Tyler had just started his first year in college, while I was about to graduate and had to prepare for graduate school exams, not to mention Mom and Dad's work. If it weren't for the dire circumstances, Mom wouldn't have said such things. You don't need to worry about anything, I'm here. Tyler hugged me tightly again. You just need to be happy with me, and I'll handle everything else. I couldn't believe it, my younger brother said such words. In his warm embrace, I couldn't bear to pull away. 20 years without any experience in love, could it be that I've been waiting for this moment all along? From childhood to adulthood, Tyler had always been well liked, but he never officially had a girlfriend. The only time he brought a girl home, it was just Sophia. Wait a minute. What about Sophia? Isn't she your girlfriend? We had a complicated and secret sibling relationship, and if Tyler was also lying, this would truly be too dangerous. That girl? Tossing her into the sea for the sharks wouldn't even help the environment enough, Tyler said angrily. Last time, after leaving the karaoke bar, she followed us. She said if I didn't date her, she would reveal that you and I kissed. I didn't want you to be troubled, so I had no choice but to accept her threats. So that's how it was. Tyler, how many things have you done for me without ever telling me? Holding Tyler's hand as we returned home, we tried our best to act as if nothing had happened, keeping everything as normal as possible. I feel that sooner or later, my parents will find out, but now it no longer matters. In fact, I even wish they would find out immediately and announce to the whole world that Tyler and I are not biological siblings. The next day. Last night, I was so happy that I couldn't sleep. I flipped through our childhood photo albums. Before starting elementary school, Tyler was always shorter than me. By third grade, he was the same height as me, and then each year, he grew a little taller until he reached a height that all the boys envied. Even though I wasn't walking hand in hand with Tyler on the way to school, I still felt nervous and anxious. I told myself I must overcome this fear of being noticed by others. As long as I like Tyler, and Tyler likes me, that's enough. There's no need to care about other people's opinions. Hey, Daisy Bloom, Tyler Bloom. Just as I resolved myself, Leo Carter's voice suddenly rang out from the road, startling me. He was sitting in his family's luxurious car and waving at us, "Get in. I'll give you two a ride to school." Tyler didn't even bother to glance at Leo Carter and kept walking. I looked around for a moment before ultimately deciding to stick with Tyler. Honestly, I really wanted to take Leo Carter's car to school since I barely got any sleep last night. Now, walking felt like a struggle, and I could hardly stay alert. But if I went with Leo Carter, wouldn't that mean betraying Tyler again? The fact that Leo Carter confessed his feelings to me, even kissed me, absolutely could not reach Tyler's ears. Otherwise, the consequences would be truly unpredictable, especially since I had witnessed both of their fiery tempers before. 06, the dangerous little sister. Just like last time, Leo Carter called us to get in the car, but we didn't. So, he got out of the car and walked with us instead. Are all rich people's behaviors this incomprehensible? Leo Carter was like a child, stepping between me and Tyler, deliberately separating us. Daisy Bloom, have you had breakfast yet? Let me treat you to a 3-course meal. Leo Carter grabbed my hand and asked. Although I really love 3-course meals, who eats that for breakfast? Besides, I had already eaten breakfast. I already ate at home. I nodded in response. Oh. I'm so jealous of you two, being able to have breakfast together and even go to school together. Leo Carter complained like a child. Doesn't Leo Carter have a younger sister who's 3 years younger? How's your relationship with her? I clearly remembered that Leo Carter's sister was named Anna Carter. She must be a very adorable girl, but why had he never mentioned her before? Hearing my question, Leo Carter, who had been cheerful, suddenly became gloomy, as if the world around him had turned dark. What's going on? Could it be that his relationship with his sister is really bad? Tyler has known Leo Carter for a long time, so he must understand the situation better. At that moment, I looked at Tyler for help, but he deliberately ignored me. I also have a troublesome younger brother, yet I've found ways to get along with him. Leo Carter's sister is only 13 years old, it can't be so bad that things are irreconcilable. Anna Carter is definitely not from Earth, otherwise, why can't anyone communicate with her? Leo Carter said in a defeated tone, lowering his head. Not from Earth? How could someone think their own sister isn't from Earth? What's going on with this Anna Carter? I'd like to meet your sister. Is that okay? I asked sincerely. All right. No way. Leo Carter responded firmly, while Tyler immediately objected. Why? I placed my hands on my hips, standing in front of Tyler as I questioned him. I was just going to meet Leo Carter's younger sister, why would I need Tyler's approval? Besides, what right did he have to object? I wasn't his puppet. I'm just worried you'll get bullied and come crying back, Tyler said, ruffling my hair before walking away. Yeah. 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 Leo Carter nodded vigorously at me. Anna Carter is really strange. Daisy Bloom, you'd better not provoke her. Strange? What's with these two? Anna Carter isn't some unidentified dangerous alien from outer space. Besides, I'm 5 years older than her, could a 16-year-old really make me cry? That would truly be the most humiliating moment of my life, Daisy Bloom. Tyler, let's make a bet, shall we? If I come back without crying, you have to help me with something. But if I fail, I'll do whatever you want. I issued the challenge with full confidence. Daisy Bloom, listen carefully, Tyler said, looking at me seriously as he spoke each word with emphasis. I do not allow you to go. Ha! Do you think using that commanding tone will make me obey? Tyler, I've been living in this world longer than you, met more people than you, and eaten more meals than you. The more you try to stop me, the more determined I am to go. Luckily, I have Leo Carter's phone number. I'll call him when I get back to class and ask him to take me to meet Anna Carter after school. Anyway, Tyler has work today, so as long as he doesn't find out, it'll be fine. Don't even think about sneaking behind my back. I'll call home at 6. If no one answers, be ready for the consequences. Tyler glared at me with a devilish warning in his eyes. Humph. He's definitely just trying to scare me. I'm not afraid. Besides, I've been to film sets before, and they usually don't allow phones during working hours anyway. 07, Black and White TV. After school, Leo Carter confirmed that Tyler had left the campus before asking me to meet him at the school gate. Then we took Leo Carter's family car to his house together. Suddenly, I felt like my actions resembled those of a woman secretly cheating on her husband. Regarding Leo Carter's confession, it seemed I still hadn't given him a definite answer. At that time, I had intended to firmly reject him, and he clearly understood my feelings. Unfortunately, he didn't give me the chance to refuse, instead telling me to wait until I liked him before giving him an answer. I hadn't yet mustered the courage to tell Tyler about this, so every time I was with Leo Carter, I felt a sense of guilt, as if I were betraying Tyler. After just about a 10-minute drive, the car pulled up to a large and luxurious mansion. I used the word mansion because I honestly couldn't think of a shorter term to describe it. Leo Carter's house was even bigger than I had imagined. Initially, I thought it was just a typical wealthy family's villa, but this place was far more than that. It was an opulent home with an expansive garden and elegant architecture, resembling the estates of British aristocrats. Leo Carter directly led me into the living room of his house. At this moment, the rumored figure, Anna Carter, finally appeared before my eyes. A 16-year-old girl in the prime of her youth, a wealthy heiress, the daughter of the CEO of a renowned international corporation. When I saw Anna Carter, all those dazzling titles seemed to dissolve like bubbles. I was almost stunned by the sight before me, to the point where I wanted to seek advice from Lei Feng. As the daughter of a major fashion conglomerate, Anna Carter was dressed in an entirely unremarkable black outfit, with a small cloak draped over her shoulders. At first glance, it resembled Harry Potter's uniform, with a touch of a priest's ceremonial robe from a church. Sitting in the living room, Anna Carter was intently focused on a massive 70-inch flat-screen TV mounted on the wall. Notably, she wasn't watching any typical program but was instead engrossed in some obscure black and white film. On the tea table, there were a few scattered CDs and a disc box labeled The Seven Fairies. This television series was produced in 1963, starring Wong Ming-kun, Fong Ying, and others.